Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ace and I'm back with another reaction video. Here we go. So I completed my reactions to the individual tracks on Madonna's 1989 album Like A Prayer, so now it's time to review, recap, and assess the full body of work. I can understand why so many Madonna fans hold the Like A Prayer album in such high regard. You know, it's funny, when I was on the Who's That Girl and You Can Dance eras, people were like, hurry up and finish this so you can get to Like A Prayer. You know, this album does represent a transformative stage in her musical evolution. By this point, Madonna had already made various changes to her style and persona, so while the adjustment wasn't completely unexpected, it's still noticeable and attention-grabbing. After riding a wave of widespread commercial success with catchy pop hits, many big-name artists will pivot to release a more serious, personal, or politically charged album to show growth or challenge their public image. For all intents and purposes, Like A Prayer sees Madonna in that stage. It explores her background and vulnerabilities and comments on broader social issues, but it does so without seeming forced, preachy, or attention-seeking. The atmosphere has a more organic feel beneath the surface. It incorporates a lot of live instrumentation, elements of funk, and jam session arrangements, but remains understated enough to not alienate itself from her previous output. Additionally, the album showcases a more rhythmic and R&B lean in certain places that really hadn't been felt since her debut album. So the album's track sequence is remarkably cohesive and smart, with certain songs thematically or structurally setting up the next. The carefully curated order, I think, demonstrates Madonna's insight into how the songs complement and build on each other. Really, the album seems like a series of emotional arcs that kind of play into one broad overarching theme. Following her divorce from Sean Penn, Madonna's temperament seemed to become bolder and more uninhibited, which subtly reflects on the album. The coyness of True Blue transformed into something more brash. Her visual aesthetic also underwent a transformation during this period. I noticed that many of the promotional photos for the album and single covers feature her as a soft-hued, long-haired brunette, while in most of the music videos, she appeared as a bold, vampy blonde bombshell. The visual dichotomy created the impression of Madonna navigating two distinct personas during this era, like the dark-haired raven versus the glamorous blonde siren. Meanwhile, the music videos for the Like A Prayer singles are amongst Madonna's most provocative up to that point, featuring more serious and daring concepts. Whereas she had previously poked the bear, this time she actually opened the cage.
Oh my God, I'm horribly sorry for having offended me.
Act of Contrition isn't a traditional song, but rather a provisional album outro, so it makes sense to place this last. And although it's more like an epilogue or a finale, it effectively reinforced the album's central theme and provides a sense of closure. I liked its offbeat creativity and an admission of Madonna's humorous side. The use of the reverse Like A Prayer set to the hand clasp I thought was inventive. Additionally, the track serves as a medium for Madonna to further express her seemingly profound relationship with Catholicism. It highlights her deep-seated roots to the church and underscores her enduring ties to her religious upbringing.
I light this candle and watch it throw tears on my pillow.
So Spanish Eyes artfully blends the Spanish elements tied to Catholicism, creating an absorbing and atmospheric mood. The elongated melody, marked by its slow pace and strong drum beat, I think really stands out. And the lyrics weave a compelling narrative. I want to like the song. It oddly stands out as both a highlight and one of the album's more pedestrian numbers, which ultimately cancels it out for me. Meanwhile, the weightier tone and more straightforward structure called for more vocal refinement, I think. Madonna's tentative and raw vocal performance kind of draws attention to itself. A bolder, clearer vocal arrangement, I think, would have elevated the song. My main issue with Spanish Eyes, however, is that it follows the lively and optimistic Keep It Together, which felt like a resolution to the album's serious and poignant themes. This song reverts the mood back to that somber place. It almost feels like a regression. Perhaps if Spanish Eyes had appeared earlier in the track list, it might have made a stronger impression on me.
Strike me dead if I did you wrong. This is not a love song.
Love Song is a unique and experimental collaboration between Madonna and Prince that's wholly interesting but never fully coalesces. The unusual arrangement, drawn-out vocals, and unconventional drum tones creates an intriguing but kind of ambiguous landscape. However, the end result feels unfinished and left me feeling uncertain and a bit underwhelmed. While it was fascinating to observe these two superstars come together, ultimately the song just exposes how different they are despite both being known for their bold and provocative styles. Nonetheless, I know some fans appreciate the chance to see this rare pairing come together, even if the final product wasn't particularly remarkable or memorable, and I share that sentiment.
Keep them alive inside. I promise to try. It's not the same.
Promise to Try is a heartfelt and vulnerable ballad that showcases Madonna's emotional side. The song's charm lies in its simple piano melody and gentle string accompaniment. It's devoid of pretense and full of transparent emotion. And while Madonna's vocal imperfections are noticeable, her genuine tone and timbre do shine through. That said, I don't think the song is for the casual listener, and I think the full impact is best felt within the context of the album, but I do understand why her dedicated fans deeply appreciate its emotional depth and frankness.
Don't go for second best, baby. Put your love to the test.
Express Yourself is filled with lively horns, big drums, and confident vocals that contributes to its explosive energy. It embodies a celebratory funk with a woman's liberation theme that creates a empowering and anthemic sound. However, the song is hindered by the overabundance of conflicting elements. Madonna's bold, commanding vocals are overwhelmed by the busy, dense, and kind of like harsh sonic landscape. It's just loud and overbearing. The remixed single version by Shep Pettibone was a complete overhaul and way more satisfying to my ears. The polished house rhythm and refined synthesizers sound crisper and more dynamic compared to the album's like loud and cluttered feel. I would have ranked it higher had this version been on the album. Meanwhile, the music video is just outstanding. The glossy industrial aesthetic blended with Madonna's bold sophistication and provocativeness was just an all-around dope visual.
Elephants and lemonade. Dear Jessie, hear the laughter running through the love parade.
Dear Jessie stands out as an unconventional and innovative track. Its concept is intricately subtle. Beneath the seemingly light and innocent tone, the song's execution reveals a creative complexity. The whimsical use of strings and violin showcases a versatility one wouldn't expect from Madonna. It's surprising to see her convincingly deliver a tune that kind of resonates with the essence of a children's song. The charming, uplifting quality and distinct rhythm, I think, adds another layer of intricacy to the album. But I think the main reason I like Dear Jessie is that I see it as a mirage masking something dark. There's a dark undercurrent hidden underneath the fantastical and playful surface. Furthermore, its strategic placement on the tracklist shockingly prepares for the more somber Oh Father, akin to a disturbing dream disguised as a sweet one. I just think the whole thing is cleverly weird, slightly sadistic, and flawlessly executed. Till Death Do Us Part surges toward the listener with the intensity of a speeding train. Its frenetic pace and dramatic guitar riff creates a vivid sense of chaos, while the strikingly honest lyrics paint a picture of personal turmoil. I said this during a reaction. The song really makes you feel like an unnoticed observer, eavesdropping on an intense domestic dispute and hanging on every word. The song's transparency is impressive, and its urgent tempo and melodic nature, I think, effectively captures the anguish of a tragic end of a marriage better than a sad ballad would have. Meanwhile, Madonna's crisp and forceful articulation of the narrative conveys a blend of heartache, disappointment, anger, and disillusionment. Till Death Do Us Part is definitely a memorable highlight of the album. Keep It Together is an upbeat R&B influenced song with a relaxed and colorful rhythm. Its groove-driven, funky sound is accompanied by an altruistic, optimistic theme that celebrates Madonna's background and family devotion. This contrasts with the turmoil explored in many of the album's other songs and provides a charming, humbler perspective that I think was a welcome addition. The chorus and harmony shine, and a catchy melody effectively conveys the song's uplifting message. In structure, I think Keep It Together succeeds where the album version of Express Yourself fell short, striking a more cohesive balance between the instrumentation, resolute message, and Madonna's vocal presence.
I got away from you. I never thought I would.
When I first heard Oh Father, I was struck by its melodramatic edge. The eerie chords and unusual drum rhythm creates a gothic atmosphere with the solemn mood, poignant lyrics, and unconventional elements that made each subsequent listen just that much more captivating. The song is very haunting and brooding and full of nuance, but the brilliance of Oh Father, I think, lies in Madonna's ability to merge the various authoritative male figures in her life into this single multifaceted persona that she addresses with strength and determination. The music video is exceptional with its dark, subtle imagery and evocative symbolism. It provides a glimpse into Madonna's inner world and range of experience. Yeah, this is another standout moment for the album.
Cherish the thought of always having you here by my side. Oh baby, I cherish the joy you keep bringing it into my life.
So Cherish is a delightful and lively track that harkens back to Madonna's earlier style without feeling like a step backwards. It's thoughtfully arranged and exudes brightness and vibrancy. The saccharine lyrics, the phrasing, the word choices, the melodic structure, I think are intelligent, endearing, and inventive. Madonna delivers one of her most polished and comprehensive vocal performances on the album with a cheerful head voice that's more controlled and fuller than the one used in her earlier work. The use of the live organic instrumentation rather than heavy synthesizers or programming, I think keeps the track sounding fresh and allows it to age gracefully. Overall, I think Cherish is just an important break on the album. It's a feel-good, mainstream-friendly pause from the more intense and serious material that came before and after it.
When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you there.
There was no way Like A Prayer wasn't going to be number one. Like A Prayer is a masterpiece and one of Madonna's finest works. It's well crafted and soulful, blending introspective faith-related themes with subtle sexual undertones. The funky bass line with the rhythmic R&B influenced instrumentation atop of that church-like arrangement is just fire. Even though I think Madonna sounds her technical best on Cherish, her delivery on Like A Prayer is very strong. I think she harmonizes well with the melody and she does a good job of leading the gospel choir. The structure of the song is incredible, with the subdued verses giving way to that expansive, potent chorus that builds to that rousing, climactic middle section. Like A Prayer is just powerful and grand. It can be adapted for really any occasion. The music video, meanwhile, is outstanding. I mean, not only do we get to see long-haired brunette Madonna, the intertwining themes of racism and the exploration of forbidden sexual taboos is just ridiculously creative and profound. A true mood piece. I think the song and video just solidifies Madonna as a musical and cultural icon. So Like A Prayer is a multifaceted and introspective album that reflects Madonna's diverse emotional range. It delves into her personal background, makes bold statements, and exhibits moments of audacity, all while maintaining enough of a thoughtful tone to keep it from becoming too dark. And while I might be inclined to view Like A Prayer as less pop-oriented than her previous material, in a broader context that really isn't the case. It takes on a more serious tone and includes moments of creative experimentation, yet it remains accessible enough to align with her earlier catalog despite its deeper theme and tentative elements. I can't help but feel like the seeds of this album were inadvertently planted with Live to Tell, further propelled by her marriage to Sean Penn and the contemplation that likely incited. Subsequently, the personal undertones of Like A Prayer, though surprising, kind of just feel like it feels like a logical progression in her ever-evolving artistic journey. In short, the album makes sense. It doesn't seem weird or out of the box, it seems just like a natural progression of Madonna's growth. Again, the album maintained a general continuity to what came before it, in part because it was principally produced by Pat Leonard and Steve Bray. However, Leonard's influence appears stronger this time. I noticed Bray only contributed 2 songs. What was that about? In contrast, the production duties between the two of them seem to be more split on True Blue and Who's That Girl. On the vocal front, Madonna delivers strong to solid vocal performances on the title track, Express Yourself, Till Death Do Us Part, and Cherish. However, her vocal consistency is uneven across the album. At times, her vocals sound thin, tentative, raw, and unrefined. Madonna had a prior pattern of steadily improving her vocals with each new album, but that growth pattern seems to have stalled on Like A Prayer. Again, there are intermittent songs that she sounds good on, but there are no moments where she sounds better than ever. The overall vocal performances on this album they tend to be more of a mixed bag. That being said, when Madonna gets in her own head, the content she creates is remarkably intelligent, candid, and evocative. Though it occasionally verges on excessive, the overall payoff is rewarding. I think I said said something similar on the recap of True Blue, but it bears repeating here as well. One thing that becomes clear through this expedition is Madonna's constant evolution. She never lingers in one phase long enough to become predictable, and she'll begin to transition to a new facet just as soon as you get used to the previous one. In summary, Like a Prayer is exceptional because it provides somewhat of an origin story, gives a glimpse into her personal life while also representing a step forward in her musical journey. Again, I see why this album is considered a decisive moment in her trajectory. So the overall grade for everything will be a B+. Yeah, I think this album definitely deserves its flowers, but how do you feel about it? How do you feel about Madonna's Like a Prayer album? Leave me some comments, like and subscribe.
But wait! There's more!
So that recap you just watched was recorded a couple of weeks ago. However, since we're at the end of Madonna's 1980s output, I decided to rank all of her music that I heard from the decade. This comes out to 57 songs, so I'm going to take a moment to just count them down from 57 to 1. I Know It. Santa Baby. Jimmy Jimmy. Love Makes the World Go Round. Act of Contrition. Over and Over You Can Dance. Can't Stop. Where's the Party? Stay. Gambler. Everybody. Over and Over. Pretender. Spanish Eyes. Burning Up alternate version. Holiday You Can Dance. Supernatural. Love Song. Everybody You Can Dance. Promise to Try. The Look of Love. Express Yourself. Material Girl. Keep It Together remix. Shooby-Doo. Into the Groove You Can Dance. Dear Jessie. Where's the Party You Can Dance. Angels with Dirty Faces. Till Death Do Us Part. True Blue. Dress You Up. Angel. Spotlight. White Heat. Lies La Bonita extended remix. Keep It Together. Holiday. Who's That Girl? Oh Father. Think of Me. Express Yourself remix. Open Your Heart. Lucky Star. Causing a Commotion. Burning Up. Love Don't Live Here Anymore. Physical Attraction. Papa Don't Preach. Cherish. Lies La Bonita. Borderline. Like a Virgin. Live to Tell. Crazy for You. Like a Prayer. Into the Groove. And I will see you on the next album. Peace.